Welcome to this tutorial on DiMonitoring, an online result-based management system based on the Dev Intro technology. How to create and manage a framework is the topic of this session. We need to log in as a site administrator to create the framework in the admin panel, where we can eventually assign the framework to a framework administrator. So here we will log in as a site admin and we land on the user. We log in and we land on the user interface. We click on the admin option on the upper right hand to access the admin panel. All the frameworks available on this site will be displayed on this first page. And to create a new framework, we shall click on the new option, where we will reach the general information window. Here mandatory fields have to be filled and they are marked by the red star. Also note that the area name has to be unique across the frameworks, area name and area ID. So we enter the area name, mention the default language, the title, the description if ever you have it, and then we'll mention the time frame. We have multiple formats of time frame. Here we'll select yearly and we shall mention the start date and the end date of the framework. This is all the information needed in this first step. And we shall go to the next step to mention the framework levels. So now step number 2 is about framework levels. We need to mention the different levels of the framework. And if we go to this Excel file, which is the framework working doc, we can easily identify the multiple levels of the framework. Level 1 will be PDO, level 2 component, level 3 subcomponent, and level 4 results. We now need to translate these multiple levels on the application, and translating these is pretty straightforward. We just need to create the levels of the framework, click on new, and then mention the framework. So we'll have PDO, component, subcomponent, and finally results. These levels are going to define the backbone of the framework. Step number 3 is about framework content. So now we need to build in the content of the framework, and over here we are going to pick whatever content is in the Excel file and we'll just copy and paste it in on the system.
So just like we've created content for PDO, we'll do the same thing for the sub-levels below PDO. So coming below PDO, we'll have the component. You click on PDO to create a level called component. Go to the Excel file. We'll just copy the content of component 1, natural resource management. Copy this from here and you come back to the application, you paste it, making the clear distinction between what label is and what description is, both being mandatory fields. Once it is there, you just save it and the content will remain on the system. Go back. Since we have created a level below PDO, you'll see a dark arrow next to PDO. You click on it and then you'll see the level below component 1. So now if you want a level below component 1, that is subcomponent, you click on component 1 and then we'll go to new to tell the system that you want to create the first subcomponent. Go back to the Excel file, copy the content, and you come back to the system and then you paste the content, once again making the distinction between label and description. Just save it. The same thing, we are going to use the same technique now for the results, because result is one level below subcomponent. We'll go back to the system, we'll click on subcomponent and then go to new to create the level called results. We'll just copy result 1.1.1, click on subcomponent, new, and then we shall paste the content in the required fields. Once it's done, we'll just save it, go back to framework content and look at the whatever content we brought on the system right now. We can easily click on expand all to see all the 4 levels clearly mentioned: PDO, component, subcomponent, and result 1. Now to all these levels we have indicators, right? So for example, for project development objective, we have indicators linked to it, and same thing applies for most of the sub levels. So let's see how we are going to bring in the indicators. This is the first indicator of PDO1, so we'll just copy it. We'll come here, click on PDO, go to modify indicators. To tell the system that you want to link indicators to this level, you go to new, and over here we are going to paste the indicator that we copy from here. Here also you have the concept of serial number, which is a mandatory field, name of the indicator, which is a mandatory field. We'll just clean it a bit. So what you need to understand is that in DiMonitoring there's this concept of IUS. IUS means indicator linked to its unit and links to its subgroup. Right now you see cattle and goats. These are disaggregations for this indicator. So how do we accommodate it? We accommodate it by creating two subgroups, one called cattle and one called goats. So this is what we are going to show you now. The unit here is %. We'll scroll down, go to subgroup. We need to create a new subgroup called cattle and a new one called goats. Click on new and just type in cattle, save, and repeat the same process for the next subgroup, that is goats, new, and then we'll say goats, save. So we've just created two more subgroups which will be listed at the end of the list of subgroups, and we can clean the name of the indicator, and we have to link these subgroups to the indicator linked to unit. Here it is. We also have the concept of reporting agency. In such a plan you may have multiple agencies who will be involved in the framework, so we need to tell the system which reporting agency is going to enter actual values for this indicator. So you go to reporting agency, you click on the drop down, and then we have to go to new and create the reporting agency who is going to handle data for this MOA, and then you save. Right now only MOA will be allowed to enter actual values for this. And indicator type, this is a normal indicator compared to a financial. This is not a financial indicator. You save it. So over here we have, if you click on the arrow at the end of the name of the indicator, you'll be able to see the multiple disaggregations, % cattle, % goats. This is just for your information. And we'll go to, yes, and we have created IUS here, and the same method is going to be applied for all the subgroups. We can easily swap to the user application to see the status of this framework in progress. So you can easily see the structure that we are building, the indicators linked to the PDO, and then the component, the subcomponent, below the results, and other IUSs. Now here the whole idea is not only to build a structure, we also need to have the values, the baseline, the plan, and the target. And this is going to be done in the admin panel, since the framework administrator will enter over there the values for baseline, target, and plan. For instance, we want to assign a baseline target values to the result level indicators. We'll select results, and then we'll click on baseline and target option on top. We'll reach this IUL list window where you have the grid, baseline, the multiple time periods. So we just can click on the baseline cell to start entering data for baseline. So we'll type in a data value for baseline and a source. Source is mandatory. There cannot be any data value without a source linked to it. So here we are going to create a source. Click on new. Source in DiMonitoring is composed of 3 elements: publisher, title, and year. We need to create these elements, so we click on the plus symbol to create a publisher. Here for instance it's IGAD. We'll type in the title of the report from which this data is coming, and we'll also put the year, which is going to be the year of publication of this report, and then we'll click on submit to validate this source. OK is going to validate and confirm the value for the baseline. We'll do exactly the same thing for the target value 2016. Enter the data value, select the same source or create a new source, and then we'll just say okay. You also have this option of putting footnotes if you wish. Now for the intermediate years 13, 14 and 15, we can either click on each cell and enter the values. Values are going to be entered exactly like we've done for baseline and target. There is no change in it. The process is similar. Or we can use this feature, just check next to the IUS, and the system will help us automatically calculate the plan values. Just click on calculate plan values and the system is automatically going to calculate these values. And if you want to edit these values, very simple, click on a cell, for example 2013, and just edit it and save it, and the system gives you this flexibility. Either you accept the value of the system or you enter your own value, or you can even edit the value that the system gives you. And you go back to the user application, you click on refresh, and you will see the values, the newly entered values here. Now these are the values that have been entered by the framework administrator, the site administrator. Now what about the actual values? The actual values may, for example, be entered by the focal points of the Ministry of Agriculture. Now there is no way currently in the current situation that MOA can log in the system unless the framework administrator, the site administrator, creates a user right for the Ministry of Agriculture. Now how is he going to do it? We'll go to user management, we'll click new, and we are going to enter the details for this new user who is going to have the role of data entry person. So we need to enter the email ID, which either you select the option login ID the same as email, or you just leave it like this. Enter the login ID, the name, last name, the password, confirm the password, and then you mention the user role. What is going to be the user role? The user role is going to be data entry. As soon as we select data entry, the system prompts you, so from which agency, reporting agency belongs this data entry person. We'll mention MOA, so we select it here. And if ever you want to limit data entry to a specific levels for this user, you can also do it. For example, here I'm saying, okay, this data entry person can only do data entry for results, for instance. So I just put result. This is like a limitation I'm assigning to this person, and I say okay, and it is going to be saved. To log in as the data entry person, I need to log off because it's not the site admin who is going to do data entry now. I'm going log off, go to the login page, enter my login credentials as data admin, as data entry person, log into the system. And you'll see when you log into the system, the screen changes a bit because now you only have data entry, right? So you cannot access the admin panel. I'll quickly scroll to the result level. Click next to result to see the IUS. The data entry person only has the right to enter actual values. Click exactly like we had entered data value in the admin panel. We follow the same process here. Once again, no data value can be assigned if there is no source. You have to create it. So this is what I am doing right now, assigning the year to the report, that is to the source, and say submit and save. The system saves this information, and automatically I have a traffic light assigned to this IUS because traffic line, it's based on the plan versus actual value. So it's saying right now that you are on amber, that is almost on track. Like you've entered the actual for 2013, you can do the same thing here. Now this person was given a result level. Though he belongs to MOA, he cannot enter data for PDO level because he was restricted to the result level. So this is the consequence, the impact of limitations applied by the framework administrator in the admin panel for this user. Now I'm going to log off from this site as the data entry person. I'm going to log in again as the site administrator because now I would like to understand the traffic that has happened on my system, on the framework. I'll go back to the admin panel. I'll select my framework, the framework on which I've been working. I'll edit it and I'll go to data entry transaction log because I want to know who has entered what. I just click on show log. mention the date from which I want to see the traffic. For instance, here I'm saying 3rd of November, till the 3rd of November. And I click on show log, and over here you have a very comprehensive list of actions that have been taken place on my framework, who has inserted what, who has deleted what, as far as plan values, baseline values, or actual values are concerned. And this can easily be downloaded in an Excel file for my later consultation. We will go to indicator details and create a dimension called, for instance, results, and link the IUS against it, so that whenever I click on result, the system will only display those indicators. So I create a dimension called results, and I create dimension values called result1, and I save it. Always remember to save whatever dimensions you're putting it. Check it to link the above indicator to this dimension. And we can repeat the same process for the other indicators. Select an indicator, go to additional information, select result, tick next to result 1, and then we save it. So this will allow us link these indicators. Now if you want to see the impact of this on the user interface, we'll go select the framework on which we have done these changes, and then we'll go to filter, and below filter we'll see a result. We'll check result, and then we'll say OK. Filter is on will appear in red color as soon as filter is applied. Click on expand all to see the impact of this filter. Only those indicators linked to result 1 are going to be visible here, and not the other indicators. To hide results from the framework, the admin panel, click on hide result framework elements, and then select the element that he wants to hide. He'll select results, he'll check results, and always click on save. And this is going to hide results from the framework. He can go back to the user application, click on refresh, and if we go down till the result level, we'll see that result is no longer going to be visible. There is nothing below subcomponent. It hasn't been deleted, it has only been disabled. Now should he want to not hide but disable it, he can just unhide it from the admin panel, save it, and go to disable framework elements, and once again select results from there, check it and save it, and going to the user interface, you'll just click on refresh, and now result is going to be visible. However, it is grayed out, so it is not clickable, but the content is visible. We hope this session helps you optimize the implementation and usage of the DiMonitoring in the projects you're working on. Thank you.